Hi, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. I'm your host, Hannah Aaron Brown. Welcome back, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube, you will notice I'm wearing a sweatshirt, no makeup, and a baseball cap that says Peace and Quiet. It's this cool brand that I just heard about called, you guessed it, Peace and Quiet. And I want to say, I feel like I'm giving like eccentric director today, like film director, and I like that. I plan on getting ready, like getting glammed up, because I was looking back at my podcast clips from when I first relaunched in like January. And earlier in the year, I was like pretty militant, not in like a scary way, but just like I was really on my shit as far as like getting up early, doing my makeup and getting ready every single day. I was like deep in Mina Zaylee TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, I want to get ready every day. And I loved that. I felt amazing. And then this summer, as I've mentioned in previous weeks, I've kind of like chilled out a little bit. And I got back from Kansas City like around like 4 yesterday, and I've had just no motivation to get ready today at all. At all. So I'm giving eccentric director today aesthetically. Also, gotta love Addison Rae for rebranding like what no makeup means as far as like being chic and looking hot. So I'm just channeling my like eccentric director, my inner Spielberg, and my inner Addison Rae today. Anyways, welcome back, everyone. First of all, some housekeeping business. I have some upcoming stand-up shows in the LA area, and if you're in town, you should come say hi. Sunday, July 13th at Lawless Brewing. That's in the North Hollywood area of Los Angeles. I'm doing a show at 6 p.m. It's called Green Tea Comedy. I'm so excited. I've wanted to do this show for months, and I'm so honored that they asked me. And then July 19th at the Hollywood Comedy, I'm also doing a show. So get excited. I'm super pumped. Post 4th of July. Okay, first of all, I hope everyone had a fun 4th of July. Let's just say that. It's a wonky 4th of July. It was a wonky 4th of July in our country. I was there for the vibes. I think I mentioned this last week. Like I was there for the hot dogs, the hamburgers, cute outfit, etc. We had a good time. We were in Kansas City with Jake's family. We went to his cousin's house who has a lake in her backyard, and we just like grilled and hung out. And then we went back to Jake's parents' house and we set off fireworks. And then we went out, and I was hammered and really hungover the next day. But overall, really fun trip. I will say, every time I get back from a trip with my in-laws, I just wonder if they hate me. And like, I'm literally obsessed with them. I'm just like, how many inappropriate jokes did I make? And like, how much did I swear without realizing it? You know what I mean? But I had a blast, had fun visiting with them. I keep telling them, I'm like, don't seek out my stand-up, don't seek out my podcast, because like I want us to stay cool. Like I don't want to offend y'all. But had a lot of fun with them. I will say there was a moment during our trip where Jake was like, tell him that stand-up joke, Hannah. Go on, tell him. Go on, tell him. Tell him. Tell him. It was his mom, dad, and brother. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay. And I had a feeling they weren't going to like this particular joke. But I tried it anyways. And it was like, okay. Like no one said a fucking thing. It was a flop. And Jake was like, well, you didn't deliver it the way you did during your last show. And so I was like, okay, so now it's my fault that I didn't deliver my joke well. Like I think the joke wasn't going to land either way. But my God, with these upcoming stand-up shows, I'm like, if I can bomb in front of my in-laws, I can bomb in front of anyone, because that truly was the most agonizing like 30 to 45 seconds of my life. And Jake like tried to repeat it, and I was like, that's what I just said. And they still didn't laugh the second time. And then I literally this is a mature way to deal with being uncomfortable. I just kept saying, I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. And then I pulled my hair in front of my face like a curtain and hid behind it. Like a mature, almost 34-year-old adult does. So we're back. I also realized over the 4th of July weekend that I have a wound, an anxiety wound around being embarrassing and too much. Yeah, that's just something I learned about myself. And, you know, it's interesting because sometimes you think like, wow, I've come so far in my healing. And like, that can be true. And also you're like, thought I came further in that area of my healing than I actually did. Still get wildly triggered about being embarrassing and too much. And so I got some work to do there, some self-examination, some meditation, some reflection. With that said, I just want to let you all know, all you listeners here, some of you found me from Right Answers Mostly. Some of you found me from Everything Iconic. Wherever you found me from, let me just say, I am so grateful that you're here. And Thank you so much for creating a safe space, not only for us as a community, but for me as a host, where I never feel like I'm too much and I never feel like I'm embarrassing. And the reason this podcast is called Not Aspirational is because I want to talk about the moments where we feel like insecure, we feel like a flop, and not only learning how to laugh at that, but learning how to work through it. So thank you all for making this such an amazing safe space and for your sweet reviews and for being here and for loving the show. It literally just, I pinch myself every day. I know celebrities say that a lot. Not saying I'm a celebrity. Tange. I know celebrities will be like, I pinch myself every day, like that this gets to be my life. And it kind of sounds like fake humble and annoying. But I'm serious. I do pinch myself every day. Like anytime one of you messages me, I'm like, holy shit, this is so fucking metal that people have not only found my show, but like it. It's really cool. So thank you. Okay, this week's episode is kind of going to be random. It might be short and sweet. It might be a Sabrina Carpenter episode, if you will, short and sweet. But we're going to have some fun. So it's going to be a little bit of pop culture and then a little bit of just like musings. And then we have some exciting guests coming up. I know I say that, but I'm serious. I'm serious. So stay tuned. First thing I want to talk about is something that I invented called the annoying tax. Okay. This is when, if you're with someone who's being annoying at like a dinner or like at the bar, wherever you are, you, as the cool person in that scenario, can tack on to your tip something that I call the annoying tax. Now, you might be thinking, Hannah, that's not fair. If I'm not being annoying, why do I have to tip on my annoying friend or my annoying relative? It's just because karmically it's the right thing to do. And I like to tell the server I'm doing it. I like to like make it a bit with the server where I'm like, you know what? So sorry, the annoying tax. Especially if you're at like a bar, you can kind of just like fork over a 5. So sorry, the annoying tax. I did it when I was with my dad at a bowling alley recently where like he was being a little particular and I was like, super sorry about that. Love my dad, but I must tack on the annoying tax. And it's kind of stuck. And then like I was kind of annoying. I was kind of annoying during my trip to Kansas City. And I was like, no, I got this round, you guys. It's the annoying tax. So you can also like annoying tax yourself when you're a bother to the people in your life. And it's something that I think that would really, in these really horrible, dark times, would make the world go round. You know, it's like there's that saying, put your money where your mouth is. And I think the annoying tax is a great example of that. And I think we should all consider it. So yeah, you can also annoying tax yourself where you're like, I was annoying in that moment. This is the annoying tax. I'm getting you a drink, you know? Yeah. Also, normalize calling people a bitch. I was I was on a walk with Jake over the weekend. And I saw this. This is really you're gonna be like, Hannah, are you okay? How does your brain work? And I'm not. I haven't been told that I'm neurodivergent, but it just wouldn't shock me if I got that news because of how my brain works sometimes. We were going on a walk in Jake's parents' neighborhood, and I saw this house, and the roof of the house resembled the evil stepmother's bed in Cinderella when she's like in the dark room, like petting Lucifer, and she's like, the curtains, wash them. The sheets, change them. Do you guys remember that part? Anyways, I didn't get the exact lines right, but like I hope you can visualize the moment I'm talking about. And I was like, what? I turned to Jake. I was like, what would have happened in that moment if Cinderella just said, you're a bitch to her stepmother? Like, I mean, if you really want, like, if you think too much into it, it's probably like sad. Like, oh, she could have gotten beaten or whatever. We're not getting that deep into it. I just think it would have been iconic, a huge slay, if Cinderella turned to her stepmom in that scene and said, you're a bitch. You're a bitch. Or, you know what? You're a bitch. You know, there's ways you can deliver it. But I think just normalize calling someone a bitch if they're being a bitch. And again, like I don't think men are allowed to do it. I don't. I think it's like a girly pop thing. But if someone's a bitch, like I think we should just feel free to say like that person's a bitch. And maybe not necessarily to their face because I don't want us getting into fights. I don't want people getting violent with us. But like if you're yapping with a friend and you had a horrible experience with someone, you could be like, she's a bitch. It's freeing to say. Give it a try. I really feel like this episode is all over the place and bad. Okay, let's get into pop culture news. Okay, first of all, Jake and I saw the new Jurassic World movie, Jurassic World Rebirth. It was so bad and I had a blast. That's how I feel. Now here are my notes. Spoilers ahead. First of all, in this movie, the whole concept is that like genetically they started modifying dinosaurs to make them like even more fucked up than before, like even scarier than before. So they're like playing God. And the dinosaurs as a result have weird little like genetic mutations that are not natural. And the final dinosaur, the like pièce de résistance, I can't speak today. The final dinosaur, the big reveal, the one that's supposed to make you shit your pants, is a fucking alien. Like, it doesn't look like a dinosaur. It looks like an alien. And I'm not saying aliens can't be scary. I am saying you put the title Jurassic World on a movie. I'm not here for aliens. I'm here for dinos. Okay? So let's just get that straight. Second of all, what really scared me, actually terrified me about this one, is that there was a lot of underwater dinosaur work. And I don't like that. I mean, I love it as a viewer because it scares me and I'm there for an adrenaline rush, but I'm really afraid of deep sea creatures. I mention it at least once a week. And this was a lot of underwater dinosaur work and it really stressed me out. And that's why I don't swim in the ocean, you know, because I'm like, I wasn't invited there. I didn't get an invitation saying you're cordially invited to the ocean. Like, no, I'm in someone else's house. And like, I personally don't like when people come over unannounced. I don't like when people FaceTime me unannounced. So like, I'm sure as shit not going to go into the ocean where I know dinosaurs are lurking. There's like a portion of the ocean where they're not supposed to go. And this dad's like on a sailboat with his kids being like, it'll be fine. I'm like, it won't be fine. And spoiler alert, it's not. But lots of underwater dinosaur work. Very terrifying, very stressful. Jonathan Bailey's American accent was in fact bad. He and Scarlett Johansson, while both very talented, had zero chemistry. And honestly, I think that's fine, but I'm like, why do we need to position them as love interests for each other? Like, why can't they just be friends? And again, why does he have to be American? Why can't he just be British? Like, I just feel like they were like overcomplicating something that like didn't have to be complicated. Like, I think Jonathan Bailey can be able to exist in that world and not necessarily be a love interest. I did see a comment on TikTok that he would play a great Milo Thatch if they made an Atlantis live action movie. And I want to say I do co-sign that. And I think his dorky American accent would work for Milo Thatch. The highlight for me was Mahershala Ali. He was super hot, super funny, super charming, everything you want out of like an action movie hunk. Really loved him. And other than that, not my favorite. I don't think I would see it in a movie theater if I were you, if you're interested. I think it's a really great like hangover movie. It's like, oh, it's like 1 p.m. on a Saturday. I'm housing a McDonald's Diet Coke on the couch. I'm going to watch Jurassic World Rebirth. But I don't think I would spend the money on it. I will say like Jake and I went to like a fun movie theater where you like have a server and you order food and you get drinks. Like we had a lot of fun. We were kind of already in vacation mode by the time we went to the movie because we left for Kansas City Thursday night. So like it was a fun experience, but like a good movie, it was not. Like there was a point where I like leaned over to Jake and I was like, is Scarlett Johansson's acting bad? And he was like, yes, it is. And the directing and the writing. Like it was a little bit of a mess. But again, we had a great time. In the words of Danny, 5 stars and also 1 star. Love Island. Don't have a ton to report on with Love Island, except I've been working on my Huda impression. And now I'm going to do it for you. This is inspired by an episode that Jake and I watched last night. We're a little bit behind, but it's a scene where she's talking to Chris because Chris is like emotional about missing like playing sports. And she's like, you want to cry, cry. If you got to cry, cry. Chris, I am here for you. I love you so much. She didn't say I love you so much. I'm just improvising now. You got to cry, cry. You know, I think me and Chris are really connecting in a new way. And it's feeling really great to feel like, you know, we're growing our connection and our connection's getting stronger. That's my Huda. Let me know what you think of it. It's kind of like an Ariana Grande impression, but just like dialed back. Like Ariana Grande is a little more up here. Huda's like a little more down here. I don't know. I'm playing with it. But if you think it's good, let me know. Because I do have a Huda-esque wig in my garage that could use a night out, could use a little exposure on the internet. I'm considering it. Also, for those of you who listen to the Everything Iconic and Just Like That recaps, I ordered fake braces like weeks ago to do Wyatt videos, and they have not arrived yet. I think they're not getting here until like July 10th, but just know that like Wyatt videos are coming. I'm so fucking busy. When I'm going to film them, nobody knows, but like Wyatt will be gracing your feed soon, okay? So just in the immortal words of Alison Dubois, know that. Okay. some TikTok happenings that I want to get into. There is this woman. Her name is Courtney Joelle. She had a TikTok go viral on June 21st, so pretty recently, about something called the princess treatment. Now, if you haven't seen this video, I would like to paint a picture. With peace and love to Courtney Joelle. This is a very thin white woman in this kind of Victorian looking little tank top nightie. And she has this little Lord Farquaad haircut, this little bob. And she has no life behind the eyes, dead behind the eyes. She barely even smiles, at least in this video. And when she does smile in other videos, I'm like, that's a Stepford wife. That's a robot. That's a robot. That's don't worry, darling, okay? Courtney Joelle's real body is in a lab somewhere, attached to a bunch of wires like Florence Pugh. But in this video, she talks about something called the princess treatment. And it's basically how to get your man to treat you like a princess. And the example she gives is if she goes to dinner with her husband, it's on him to talk to the host and get them sat and then do the ordering for her. And if for whatever reason it's adverse weather conditions and he has to drop her off and then go park the car, if there is not a valet, even though there usually is, she will not talk to the host at the restaurant. She will just stay there and dismiss the host. The host will be if the host tries to address her, she'll be I'm waiting until my husband gets here. And then she talks about how he orders for her, and she's and you can respond in a very soft and feminine way. My husband will be here soon. And she is she's a stay-at-home mom, and her whole brand now is the princess treatment. And I will say, we all know that there's a home on TikTok for rage bait, and she knew that people were going to be mad. She's people are going to rip me apart for this. So okay, at least she's self-aware to an extent. But I was concerned, where I was oh my God. Already post-COVID, we are in a puritanical era where no one wants to have fun anymore. No one wants to be brat. Everyone judges each other for partying and living a little. And now we have creators like Courtney Joelle being we should be soft and feminine and quote, embrace the princess treatment, i.e. as women, shut the fuck up and let our husbands do everything for us. And I'm not saying that as women, we shouldn't be comfortable with our partner taking care of us in one way or another. One thing my partner's not going to do is speak for me ever, ever. And so she's a fascinating person. I really fucking hate her. And I'm sorry, that's really aggressive, but I'm really triggered by her content, and I feel it's setting us back. And I was in a situation recently where I felt as an outgoing, loud woman, the people I was with were kind of looking at me I was fucking crazy, and I was just over the top, and I wasn't soft and feminine enough, and I could have been projecting that, so I want to own that. But that was the vibe I was getting, it was just kind of whoa. And it was people I was just meeting, so I was kind of pissed off. And so I see people like Courtney Joelle, and I'm in this climate, in this political climate, we cannot let the Courtney Joelles of the world win. We cannot. I'm all for being treated like a princess. In my mind, being treated like a princess is being given the space to be exactly who the fuck I am, without my partner needing to explain my behavior, make excuses for me, or speak over me, or take up space on my behalf. I just cannot. I cannot. So if you're looking to just get angry today, make sure you look up Courtney Joelle on TikTok. And I would love to know your thoughts. Comment and let me know what you think about Courtney Joelle and the princess treatment, because maybe I just fully misunderstood, but it set me off in a way that something has not in a while. And also, it has 104.7 thousand likes. And that scares me. And it's not surprising, given, again, the climate of this country, the election, etc. But boy, does it grind my gears, wig me out, make me want to die. I recently said I was a witch in a social setting, and some people got freaked out. And I was we can't even say we're witches anymore without rubbing people the wrong way. Fucking kill me. Burn me at the stake now. And I am a witch. I'm an expert manifester. I am a fucking witch. Anyways, cue the opening theme song from Charmed, the one by the Smiths. How Soon Is Now? That's what it's called. I am the sun. I am the air. That's me. I'm fucking Prue. Prue was my favorite as I got older, but as a kid, I was Team Piper. And I feel as a kid, I always liked the member of the group that no one else gave a shit about. Like with Backstreet Boys, I liked Howie. With Charmed, I liked Piper. Then as I got older, I became a Prue girl, and justice for Prue and justice for Shannon Doherty, but we don't need to get into that right now. Okay. Then I saw a TikTok that went viral about this mom who went to a 4th of July party. She was new to the neighborhood. She got invited to a 4th of July party by like her kid's friend's mom. She shows up to this barbecue. She makes this beautiful antipasta salad, cold cuts, mozzarella, basil, balsamic drizzle. She shows up. She comes in. She brings her own beer. She BYO's bees. Okay? Has her own beer, like Sonia Morgan has her own beer because she like, I think is just trying to be like as polite as possible, like, you know, not take up too much space. She doesn't really know anyone. She wants to be like polite and not make anyone like worry about entertaining her basically. And she's like standing in the foyer, and then this guy like walks through the front door past her and is like, seems kind of huffy and mad, and she's kind of like uncomfortable. And the mom who invited her is like, I don't know what his problem is. And basically like everyone at this party is like nasty to this woman and is like, you're not supposed to be here. Like, this isn't your house. Like, it's, you know, normally it's customary to introduce yourself to people when you crash a party. And the mom who invited her was like, I invited her. And they're like, well, you should have told us because you're not supposed to have other people here. You should have told us. This is a private party. And then some guy was like, yeah, welcome to the neighborhood. See you later. And she dumped out her beer and left the antipasta salad and left in tears. And her kid was like, Mom, it's not your fault. And this poor woman was traumatized. And she talks about how horrible it is, like how hard it is making friends in your 30s. And that is a time, listeners, when she should have looked at these people and said, you know what, you're a bitch. And I know that would have escalated the situation, okay? But sometimes it's like she was never going to win with those people. And as long as you're happy with your own choices at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? You know, some people don't deserve your kindness. Sometimes being the bigger person means telling people that they're a bitch and then leaving and never giving them your time, space, or energy again, okay? I say this as someone who is a lot of bark and not a lot of bite. I actually hate confrontation. But if you're going to disrespect me like that, I'm sorry. I like to think that I would be like, I'm not sure what I've done to you, but I'll take a Pinot Grigio. Like, what is wrong with these people? So this mom got like really humiliated, and I felt really bad for her. And her video has like over 2 million likes, and everyone's like, fuck these people. They sound like terrible hosts. They are not good at throwing a party. And this goes back to what I said last week. You can control how you make people feel. If you're throwing a party and someone comes in that you weren't expecting, give them a drink. Say, hi, welcome. Welcome to the neighborhood. Great. The more the merrier. Chill the fuck out and grow up. And like, if you're going to be annoyed with anyone, be annoyed with the woman who invited her, not the woman who got invited. Like, if people weren't supposed to bring other people to the party, then like that's on the person you invited, not this other mom who showed up with her antipasta salad. Grow up. Okay, next. Alex Cooper recently sang Take Me Out to the Ball Game at a Cubs game. And I love a Cubs game because I love the location of Wrigley Field. I think it's a gorgeous facility. The pomp and circumstance of a Cubs game is a blast, and their hot dogs, in my opinion, are elite. Cubs fans are difficult, and that's why when it comes to the fans, I lean more Sox. I'm definitely a fair weather fan. Like if Chicago's doing well, that's cool for me. But Sox games are more like comfy family, like let's hang out on the south side kind of vibes. It's a lot more cozy. It's a lot less belligerent in my experience. You're not going to have someone like screaming at you, falling asleep on you on the Addison bus, etc. But again, that's just my experience. Alex Cooper sings the Take Me Out to the Ball Game at the Cubs game. And in this video, she's like, all right, daddy gang, Cubs fans, are you ready? And then she does this sort of like bellowing, almost masculine voice. And she's like, take me out to the ball game. And she's like laughing the whole time. And people are pissed and they're booing her. They're like, boo, boo. And I'm like, do y'all just hate women? Because like, I will say, both Happy Birthday and Take Me Out to the Ball Game, those songs have some difficult notes. For it's 1, 2, or if they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2. I mean, that's high. 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. That's a hard no. I'm not even warmed up right now. I saw a review on Everything Iconic being like, Hannah, stop singing. And I'm like, babe, it's not going to happen. And by the way, you're a bitch. But as I was saying, Alex Cooper was just trying to have fun with it. And I realize Alex Cooper is a polarizing figure and people have opinions on her. But like that aside, I was like, okay, she was just being a silly goose, having fun singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game at a Cubs game. She's not singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. It's not that fucking serious, okay? And she still sounds better than Fergie on her best day, you know? And then I also just saw recently a video of Pauly D singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game at a Cubs game, and it was infinitely worse, and he didn't get booed. And so without further ado, I would like to play for you the clip of Pauly D singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You get the gist, okay? And, you know, I didn't realize this episode kind of had a theme, which is that just like being a woman is so fucking hard. But like, he didn't get booed. It was all jovial, singing along and clapping along and cheering along for Mr. Pauly D. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Pauly D stan, okay? One time in college, there was a dance and we dressed up as who we wanted to be when we grew up. And who did I dress up as? Mrs. Pauly D. I got a shirt made that said Mrs. Pauly D. and I made a little veil out of toilet paper, okay? So Pauly D aside, I will say it just goes to show you. People hate to see women doing quite literally anything. And if a white man does anything, no matter how poorly, people are like, oh my God, amazing, hilarious, I love it. And it really pisses me off. Pisses me off. Wow, okay, we're getting to the end here. Sorry this episode's so short, but I promise next week's will be thick with 2 C's. I did want to give y'all an update on the book Credence that I'm reading. Spoilers ahead. Tiernan is 17 and wants to fuck her uncle, okay? And her 2 cousins, and they're all related. She wants to fuck them all. She's turned on by all of them. I do think my casting is pretty good. They don't necessarily all seem related, but I do think they all fit the vibes of the people, and they're all hot. So if you're reading Credence, let me know what you think of this fan cast. Tiernan, I don't really picture her as anybody because if something hot happens, like, don't we all just like picture ourselves? Anyways, so not accurate casting there. But for the uncle, I picture Matthew McConaughey. For the cousin Noah, I picture Milo Manheim. And for the cousin Caleb, I picture Jacob Elordi. If you're reading Credence, comment and let me know what you think of that. But it's an insane book. And what I like about it is I like the feeling of reading a book as an adult that I know, like, I'm like, there's still this child inside me that's like kicking my feet, being like, oh, like, can't believe how insane this book is. But knowing that like I'm an adult and I can't get in trouble for reading it. Like I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can read my weird little kinky fucked up book and have a great time. And I love that for me. I love that for me. And that's I will say there's a lot of things about being an adult that kind of suck, but that is a heavy metal part of being an adult. And I really, really enjoy that. So if you're reading Credence, let me know. If you're not reading Credence, let me let you know that she does want to fuck her uncle and her 2 cousins. And like, it's a wild ride. I keep falling asleep right before bed because we'll stay up watching Love Island. And then by the time we even get in bed, it's like 10:30. And then I'll read like 2 pages and fall asleep. So I'm not as far along in Credence as I would like, but I'm hoping to knock out some pages this week because it's getting insane. And by insane, I mean juicy and really, really good. Okay, to close out the episode, we have Grow Up. This week, I only have one, but it's important and it's impactful. Okay, grow up. Not knowing how to act right going through airport security. Grow up. I had a situation happen to me yesterday. Jake and I were on our way back from Kansas City. We were in the Kansas City airport, which, by the way, is gorgeous. They just redid it. This gentleman, shocked to no one, white man of a certain age, is in front of us. Mind you, we're in the TSA pre-check line. So you think, respectfully, the people who went out of their way to get TSA pre-check are like They're efficient travelers. They're looking to get in and out. No. All common sense leaves people's brains in an airport. They just fucking forget how to human. They forget how to be a person. Spatial awareness, gone. Common sense, gone. This guy had this backpack. It was stuffed to the brim. It had so many goddamn zippers on it. And he was unzipping and re-zipping them for, guys, I'm not exaggerating, like 3 to 5 minutes. And a line was forming behind me and Jake, like 6 or 7 people deep, because this guy had no fucking awareness or just did not care that there was a line forming behind him as he just fucked around with his backpack and the 80,000 zippers for, I don't even know what he was trying to do though. Like the backpack was closed. Like it was closed. So I don't know what he was doing. This weird little zipper dance he was doing. I didn't understand it. I started turning around and rolling my eyes at Jake. And it got to the point where I'm like, I hope other people see me because this is ridiculous. And I was right behind him. And I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm the holdup. I'm not the fucking holdup. It's this guy and his 5,000 zippers. Dances with zippers over here is holding us all up. And then he finally put it through. And I was this close to being like, are you joking? Like, I really thought we were being punked. I was like, are you kidding right now? And I didn't. Because again, white man of a certain age, scary. White man of a certain age in Kansas, scary, potentially. But I was annoyed. So for anyone traveling in the near future, just remember, stay aware, stay vigilant in the airport, be on top of your shit. Have your ID ready when it's supposed to be ready. Have your shit ready to go. Treat it like a fire drill. If nothing else, I mean, I would say treat it like a fire drill, but try not to have chaotic energy. So like have your shit ready to go through the security thing, but don't be like chaotic about it. Just be like very routine about it, clinical about it. But like show people that you give a fuck, not just about your time, but also theirs by being efficient and getting your shit through the security line and being prepared and keeping your energy normal and grounded, which I know is hard in an airport, but my God, people's airport behavior, it is my Roman Empire. I don't know what the fuck is everyone's problem. Everyone needs to stop acting like we're like on the Titanic. Like I can't with the triangle of sadness, chaos in every airport I ever go to. And that fucking weird zipper guy, I will think about him until the day I die. I'll be on my deathbed thinking about what his problem was, and we'll never know. We will never know. Anyways, y'all, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you love the podcast, leave it a rating and a review. Share it to your story. Share it with a friend. Thank you all so much for listening. Watch on YouTube if that's your journey. Check out the show notes for helpful links, including tickets to upcoming comedy shows, as well as my brand spanking new Athleta storefront that I'm really excited about. And I love you all, and I will see you next week. Keep an eye out for exciting guests coming up because they're really good and you're going to love them. And I will see you soon. Bye.